welcome to my channel, Bow and Arrow Tarot. Today we're going to get right into the weekly reading for the sign of Gemini. All right, Geminis, you're up. And this is going to be for January 19th to the 25th. All right, so we're going to pull out your 3 romance angel messages. And then we're going to get right into your animal spirits. And then we'll pull out your 3 forecasts for the week. All right, guys, so let's get right into it. Lovely Gemini. See what the angels have for messages for you this week. Now, this is a general reading, but I do pull romance angel messages just to see what, the nature of our deeper relationships are going to be. We have calling in your soulmate. And, excuse me, we have finances and career. This is really a regular player. Finances, career is a constant message for my collective. And honeymoon. So, some of you are calling in your soulmate this week. Some of you are dealing with career, business. Some of you may indeed be going on a honeymoon or enjoying blissful time together, holiday time together, time off with your lover, your soulmate. So let's pull out your animal spirits and see which energies you may or may not be working with this week that may become available to you. Now, of course, just take what applies to you. If it doesn't apply, just let it go. All right, we have the horse. Beautiful energy, self-mastery. Camel, fire energy. The horse is, of course, earth. And we have the bee, air energy. The bee is a regular player also on my readings. This is the first time in a very long time, if ever, that the bee has not come out in the first position. Let's get right into it. The horse. Wow, this is one of the highest cards for self-mastery, right? The horse is a strong animal spirit, a strong earthy animal spirit, extremely stable. The endurance of the horse animal spirit is, is unmatched by any other animal spirit. And this is the type of energy that comes into our lives that is really sort of stable and supportive. The horse, we ride horses, right? They carry us over difficult terrain. And being an earth animal spirit, an earth elemental, we're talking about here the ability to really sort of make it through any kind of difficult circumstances, right? To make it through with a feeling of stability as well, right? So regardless of what it is you're going through, any obstacles or any rough terrain that you're just having to navigate right now, horse energy comes in such a way that you're able to handle it, right? You're able to get through it. And not only that, it is a feeling of mastering a part of yourself, right? So you're also mastering certain qualities and skills that you have. Now, the camel is a fire elemental. And the camel is the highest animal spirit in the deck for self-reliance. The camel is extremely independent. It really sort of doesn't need the help of anyone else, right, at all. The camels can go for very long time, very long stretches of hot, arid terrain. When it requires nourishment or when it requires sort of a reboot or a boost to its energy, the camel only needs to go within and tap its own reservoir. And so in this way, this is an extremely self-reliant, resourceful, independent, and strong animal spirit. And this is what some of you may indeed be resonating with this week, right? The other thing with camel energy is that a camel energy allows us to remain very calm and collected in the face of a lot of anger, perhaps, or in heated sort of arguments or discussions. So if you're dealing with people who are very hot this week in their attitude or their mentality, or you may be involved in, arguments perhaps, or, any kind of struggle with somebody who is sort of, coming at you fairly aggressively, you're able, with the help of camel spirit, you're able to remain cool. You're able to sort of remain level-headed, right? And they're not going to really sort of get you off your square. And it's a very good way to be. Now, the bee is, of course, air elemental. And the bee is associated also with a great amount of sort of hard work and industriousness, right? It's extremely creative. The bee brings sort of it brings hard work to a creative endeavor, and it brings creativity to a difficult task, so vice versa. The bee is also sort of the great card for democracy in a lot of ways. The bee always wants to make sure that everyone is being treated fairly, that everyone is valued equally, right? And so the person who resonates with this energy oftentimes is the one in the group who sort of mends any kind of arguments or quarrels. They're the one in the group that sort of buzzes around, at a party. They're the ones who are making sure everyone is sort of happy and taken care of. And like I said, this is really just a strong, positive energy to be around. And anybody who's resonating with bee energy is really a great friend to have, especially when you're trying to accomplish things. You're working in partnership or you're working in a group. The bee always brings an extra level to that, which is really, really nice energy. All right, guys, let's go ahead and pull out your forecast for the week. These forecasts are intended to be separate from each other, so you may resonate just with one of them or a portion of one of them, and that's fine, Gemini. So let's just see what your week holds for you. Straight out, we have Four of Pentacles, Justice, and the King of Cups. Some of you are coming in this week worried about finances, worrying about perhaps there may be a threat to your finances or a career or business. You're feeling as though your stability perhaps may be at risk right now for some reason. This could be from outside forces or decisions coming in. It could very well be, interestingly enough, sort of if you're going through something like perhaps a divorce or a separation, and that decision may be impacting your finances. I say that because of this King of Cups here. So this could be associated with your love life, your love connections, but also sort of impacting your financial stability. In any case, there's anxiety there, right? And you're not really sure which way to go or how it's going to turn out. You are met with justice energy this week. And so, again, this is why I say it could be the finalization of a divorce or a separation agreement, because justice oftentimes is an event that comes in to rebalance our lives. And oftentimes it is an official event also, like a rendering or a decision that's come down in some official capacity, a mediation process, right? But in any case, whatever this event is, it really serves to rebalance your life. And so, although some of you may be indeed worried about the financial outcome here, ultimately, this is a good sort of a good event in the terms of changing your life, a good event in terms of bringing your life back into balance. And even in the short term, if finances are a little bit tight, ultimately it is for your betterment to have this sort of justice energy come in. You round your week off with a King of Cups, which is a real feeling of wanting to go after or wanting to solidify a love connection. The King of Cups is very much the dominant one in a relationship. He's oftentimes he's the hunter in a lot of ways, different than the Knight of Cups, because the Knight of Cups is generally still trying to figure out his own feelings. The King of Cups knows what he wants. He knows who he is. He's already gone through the process of knowing his heart and knowing where his desires lay and his objectives lay in terms of a love connection. He knows exactly the type of relationship he wants to have. And like I say, he is very much the hunter. Of course, this is not gender specific. My readings are not gender specific or gender orientation specific. So this could be a male or female, but in any case, you're very much taking sort of the lead role in going after a particular love connection. Could very well be that some of you, as a result of this justice event coming in, are now free to go after someone you've had your eye on for quite some time. It could be that up until now, you haven't really for whatever reason, really been free to sort of, you know, increase that level of commitment that you want with that person, right? Especially if you were waiting for a divorce to be decided, or a decision in that way, or any decision really that's impacting your financial stability. Now that the decision or the event comes in this week, it almost is like clears the way for you to go ahead and go after your love connection with that King of Cups. There's your Queen of Cups, High Priestess, and Judgment. Judgment has been coming out for all of the readings lately. Queen of Cups, so some of you are coming in with the energy of Queen of Cups. And the Queen of Cups is very different, of course, very different to the King of Cups, in that she's much more about being very receptive and exchanging her cup of love, right? She wants to have that emotional exchange with someone. She has a very special love to give, which is one of the reasons her cup looks very different to all the other cups in the deck. It's a testament to how special and how sort of unique and expansive her love is, right? She's also very sort of sentimental. She's very sensitive. She wears her heart on her sleeve, but she is emotionally healthy, right? So she's not the one who's going to necessarily fall apart if things don't work out. You know, she knows what her cup is worth. She knows that what she has to offer, that it's special. And so she also understands that when things don't work out, they weren't meant to work out. In any case, you are being very receptive and very open to a love connection. You're met with a High Priestess energy this week, and there's a real feeling of sort of intuitive ability coming in for you. There could be something, I want to say, when we talk about calling in your soulmate, you could be very intentionally calling in your soulmate, and also already having an idea of who this is and how this is going to sort of play out, because the High Priestess definitely talks about your confidence increasing and your intuitive ability increasing. So that voice inside your head right now is really sort of guiding you, and you should listen to it, because right now it is showing you which way to go, right? Or, you know, it is giving you support in terms of your decisions, right? So if you're being very receptive to someone coming into you right now, you're calling in your soulmate. When we call in our soulmate, that doesn't mean that the first person coming in is your soulmate. You may have different people coming into you, coming towards you. But it's a case of also knowing which one of those people is the right connection. And I think this is where the High Priestess comes in. You know, your gut will tell you who the right person is for you, right? And you round the week off with Judgment energy. So this is a real feeling of empathy and forgiveness. And that's quite interesting. I wonder if this person who you are calling in may be someone from the past, that maybe there were some difficulties in communication. Maybe something happened, or there was a breakdown in communication. And so also calling that person back into your life is a feeling of reconciliation, right? It's a feeling of sort of mending bridges. For some of you, you could be saying to yourself with this High Priestess energy that, you know, I know that we're going to end up back together, right? And so this week, I think an opportunity for some of you comes in for you definitely to reconcile with someone who was in your life previously, and someone who you, to a certain degree, always knew would be back in your life. Now that you are ready to be receptive, now that you are ready sort of to look at things from a broader point of view with this Judgment card, and sort of not be perhaps as hypercritical as you were before, or both of you to be as hypercritical as you were before, sort of relaxing some of that judgment and just understanding that people are people, people are human. There's a real feeling of forgiveness here coming in, and certainly a feeling, Gemini, that you kind of knew this was all always going to happen. Eight of Pentacles, the Fool, and the Six of Swords. All right, this is going to be your last spread. The Eight of Pentacles really talks about putting boundaries in place in your life so that you can remain focused on your work, right? 8 is the number for strength. It is also the number for boundaries. And so right now, this week, some of you Geminis are coming into this week with a real sense of putting your nose to the grindstone. You're not allowing any outside influences to sort of pull you away from the task at hand. And it's a really good feeling of accomplishment. This is what is needed when we are trying to master something. And certainly this is finances and career impacting your life. You're wanting to reach a certain level of mastery. The horse being the highest card for self-mastery, at least one of the highest cards for self-mastery, is an energy that can come in and that's perhaps can help you through this period. Perhaps the workload is very heavy, right? And so this strength from the horse is really what is needed right now in terms of getting through the workload. Camel energy can be coming in also in terms of remaining cool, cool-headed, and remaining you sort of calm and methodical as you move along. You're met with a Fool this week, Fool energy, and this is a real, this is an event, I'm going to say. So for some of you, something's going to happen this week, some sort of event, a meeting, or what have you, that's really going to mark the beginning of a whole new life for you. It could very well be that you've been working very hard towards a particular objective for quite some time, and now this week, the opportunities are coming in, or an opportunity is coming in for you to take this work and really move into a totally different stage or a new path in your life. A path that is going to take you away from strife and struggling. Some of you may have been in a very difficult situation in terms of maybe you were with a person in a relationship that was full of a lot of anger and abuse. Remember, camel energy stays very calm in the face of anger. And perhaps you have been learning that because you were in a situation like that, or whatever the case may be, because Six of Swords talks about a decision to move towards harmony. It's a very conscientious decision that we take to no longer be around an environment or to no longer be around people, places, and things, right? That cause us pain, or that cause us to constantly be fighting or arguing or constant power struggle. You really had enough of that. You want to move towards a place in your life where things are more harmonious, where you are more where you are around people who are more like yourself, right? And who are definitely like-minded, as it were. And so this week, it's interesting that you've been working really hard at this. Perhaps you've been building your finances to be able to make this move. But this week, something occurs for you, and it's kind of like it all sort of happens. It's all beginning now. And it's a really, really nice thing. I think this is something, Gemini, for some of you that you've probably been planning for some time. You've been working towards it, but now the actual opportunity comes for you to make that real final decision to move, right? To move towards this other path, or to move down this other path. And you're ready to take it. And you certainly, by the end of the week, some of you may actually be physically moving where you live at. Right. It's a very nice energy, and all three spreads for you this week, Gemini, have been very, very nice. They're all really about moving towards a better place in your life, more harmonious place in your life, a stronger place in your life. And certainly with horse energy coming in and camel energy, that really strong self-reliance and resourcefulness is really going to be carrying you through all of your obstacles or difficult terrain that you might be navigating this week in your personal life, in your career, or in your love life. All right, guys, this is your reading, January 19th to the 25th. I do hope you enjoyed it. If you did, could you please like and subscribe so that you can be notified of all of my videos when I premiere them? I always put out weeklies, monthlies, mid-monthlies. Sometimes I do the lunar readings depending on the workload. But in any case, for right now, I'm just going to bid you a wonderful week, Gemini, and I'll see you next week for your weekly. Bye-bye now.